Good day. Welcome back, everybody. We're back in the flight deck. We're about 80 miles from top of descent, getting ready to head down into Sydney. It's been a pretty uneventful flight, other than the fact that we have had sunrise ahead of us. You can see the sun up there. We're now over Australia, as you can see, heading to the coast and heading to Sydney itself. So we're just going to come over and make sure our audio is on for our voice stuff on the radio. Looks like Kevin is starting down already, and as mentioned, we've got about 70 miles to go. Going to do a quick check of the weather, see where we stand now. We'll throw that into the chat. So there's the weather. Winds are 160 at 17, so it's a pretty windy morning. Visibility is still good, although they're starting to report vertical and horizontal visibility. I think there's a haze coming in, and it looks like some light rain later on. Currently scattered clouds at 14 and broken at 17, broken at 2800s, 24 degrees, nice and warm, and 1021 on the Barrow. So we're going to come over and just confirm our arrival. 160 right on the Boar 3 Papa is still all programmed in, so we're going to keep with that. So let's come over here. We're going to be looking at doing a straight Cat 1 landing. So the information we're going to need for that is the following. First of all, we're going to set Roger's side over to VOR. We'll then pop down here. ILS frequency is 1095, so we'll dial that in. 1095 is set. 155 is the heading we're going to want. So we'll let that scroll around to 155.5. And then we're going to set the VOR2 over onto the airport VOR, which is 120 or 112.1. And we'll leave that set for 0. That's fine. You can see we're now SY. That is the Sydney VOR. And that is good. So we can get rid of this now. We're basically coming down this way, and then we'll come into Sydney. But what we are going to do is come into our TO approach. We're going to be doing a full flaps 30-40 landing. Our descent altitude is going to be 210 feet, and given the airport elevation is about 5 feet. Our runway elevation 7 feet. That will be our landing. We'll set our landing elevation to 0 as well. So our platform is going to be 3,000 feet. So we can now come in and scroll that into 3,000. There we go. 3,000 feet set. And when we get to within about 10 miles, we'll arm our descent and get ready to go. So, our airport star and runway are entered in, minimums are in, and we verified our landing speed. We have a V approach of 142. ILS frequency and course are set in 109.5 and 155 degrees. Landing elevation at 0 feet is set. Fuel quantity, we have 10.1 tons is perfect. So we have a barrel minimum is entered. And we're going to come up here. We'll set 200 feet anyway as a reference. 200 feet is set. FCU altitude of 3,000 feet is set. And auto brake we will set when we're closer to the ground. We don't need to set the GPWS switch because we're landing at full flaps, 30-40. That is selected. Everything is looking good. See the rolling hills of the outback out here. Beautiful sunrise. And we take a look at the aircraft. Kevin's ahead. Again, we're heading for the coast. And that'll put us in nicely at this breakfast time arrival. It's been 6.5 hours roughly, 6 hours 28 minutes since we took off. Actually, that's since when we pushed back from the gate. We're looking at about a 7-hour flight time for today's flight, and everything is good. We are up to date and up to speed. So we are going to arm we're starting down. I'm going to try the other way. I'm going to go altitude hold. Didn't want to be screaming downwards like that anyway. And is it...
Traffic into Budo 3001 Charlie is currently overhead Scone NTB.
That's what I want.
Papa arrival for
profile descent. We're heading for SCO. That was Kevin on the radio there. And Sydney area traffic, World Express 104, leaving flight level 350, inbound for the Boar 3 Papa, arrival ILS 16 right at Sydney. So on our arrival, do we have any restrictions? We do. Vasra has an 8,000 foot, so we know 3,000 foot will be our thing. So we're going to go 8,000. And hello, Brian. How'd your day go? So Vasra is in there pretty tight, so we're going to come back a little bit. There's Vasra. So we're going to go vertical speed mode, see if we can get the banana up to there, so when we hit 8,000 feet we're at Vasra. There's the banana coming in. So we're going to need a little bit more. Well, technically it wants us above 8,000. Our next limit is $, at, we have to be below 5, so we can set that one. And we'll look for $, right about there. So that should be about right. And I think, yep, there's Kevin down below us. Now you got in an evening nap, or afternoon nap. That's great. Kevin, what is your speed right now? Let's put the chat back down. There we go. No, there is nothing better. Except a Monday afternoon nap. They're pretty sweet. Alright, so we should hit 5,000 right around $1, so we're looking good there. It says we're in icing range, but we have no visible icing out there. Fuel is currently 9.6 tons. So that is all fine. Runway length on 16 right is 13,000 feet. We're then going to do a left-hand exit, and then we're going to taxi back up to the international cargo, which is right up at the top end of 16 right anyway. So basically we're going to be backtracking the length we did. Yeah. A few years to go, but they're sweet though. Alright, I think we see the traffic down there at Sydney ahead of us. Alright, everything is looking good. If you can land there, you can get down with no issues. Oh yeah. Alright, so 101 or 1021 is the altimeter, so we're going to switch over now. So 1021 is set. Again, runway elevation on touchdown is 7 feet, so we've set our elevation to 0. So descent has been initiated. Ignition is over to continuous. Anti-ice not required. Seatbelt signs are fine. And at 10,000 feet, we'll do everything else. We're not going to need the terrain radar since it's very flat and we're out by the water. So it's just going to be our lights. And everything there. $23,000 feet coming up. Uh-oh. Kevin? I'm not seeing you. Oh, I'm above you. Oh, you're a pretty big airplane, and you're about 10,000 feet below me, and I'm taking the lead. And sorry for the sweeps of the camera there, but I was looking for Kevin. So we'll keep our speed up until we have to slow. No speed restrictions until Urden, except for the 250 below 10, which is standard. So we should hit that around Bori, which is what we're inbound to now. Alright, so we're going to set 280 in on speed now. To keep our from accelerating too much, and also to allow for spacing. Engines are rolling back. So we should slowly decrease our airspeed to 280. It's 18,000. And you're going to hold to 230? Okay, that's great. There's the coastline. Coming in over the green hills to the north. I think that's the town of Newcastle out that way. "65 miles from the airport. Well, that's true. I mean, to be honest with you, landing that thing, everyone has to go for a half-hour break before they can take off. Alright, so we're going to bring our speed back to 250, and there's 15,000 feet. There's getting thicker. It's holding our speed. "12,000 feet, we'll deploy the speed brakes and slow ourselves down. A little bit of turbulence now as we come over the hills. Oh, that too, yeah. Unless there's a... I don't know, what's the span engine to engine? Would you fit on a 200-foot runway? No problem? I'm assuming you would. 6,000 to go. Yeah, it's not giving the runway width. So yeah, I don't know what your span would be on this one. So there's 12,000 feet. We'll start putting the speed brakes out. Slowing for 250. 275 wide. Wow. 275 feet engine to engine. It's amazing. Oh, tip to tip, yeah. I can't remember what Toronto's runways are, if they're 200s or 150s, but I know we watched the video of it being in there, so I know it was able to do that. So we're at 10,000 feet, almost down to 250. Lights on, turn the turn-offs on, nose to taxi. Igniters are on, that's all good. Everything's good up above. Turn on the ILS. Got 141 is our approach. And everything else is looking good. Come down to 3,000 feet, and we want to be there at dumb off so we can decrease our descent a little bit, bring in the speed brakes. $117, so you'd fit in a 150 just. Back to 245. Sydney area traffic, World Express 104 over Boree at 7,100 feet inbound, ILS 16 right, Sydney. And runway heading in case I need it is 155. So we'll scoot that around to 155. There we go. 36 miles out. Do another decrease on the descent rate.
Antelope 3301 Charlie is currently 5.8 miles from Boree. Boree to map arrival for ILS success.
Yeah, probably would. I'm sure they sent the trucks down after it, just to make sure that it was okay. Well, looks like we got a little disconnect here. Shouldn't be though. No, that looks all right. Must be the. Yeah, there it is. It was the top of the thing cutting it off there. There's the airport right there. That's our missed approach. Back to 30. It's 4,000 feet. $28 miles. and localizer is showing. Localizer is alive. There's our turn. Airport's ahead. It's 1,000 to go. No clouds, light wind. Well, not light wind. It's fairly strong, but it's down the runway, so it's not a big deal. Shouldn't be too much of a crosswind to worry about. Alright, so we're going to aim for getting off around Alpha 4, I guess. So auto brakes go to low, ground spoilers armed. Lights are all on. Gear and flaps now. There's 3,000 coming up. Glide slope is showing. Hello, Talia. How are you doing today? Popped out earlier while we were in cruise, and it's sunny here, but we had some more snow overnight, light dusting. Put a nice little white layer on everything again. Alright. Holding 245 as we head inbound. So Alpha 3 or Alpha 4, probably going to be Alpha 4, or maybe Alpha 3. We'll see where we end up. My favorite one is the where the pilot lands and makes a really heavy landing, and then he comes on and goes, "Sorry about that, the co-pilot's new to this." Shifts the blame right over to him. So there we go, 16 miles to go. We're going to bring our speed down to 220. Arm the localizer. There's Sydney. Sydney area traffic. World Express 104 on the localizer for runway 16 right, 14 miles. Speed's down to 220, slats 15. And 210 we can go flaps. I don't know these speeds yet. 210 we go, and they're very small. So 12 miles we'll go down to 200 knots. Of course, we're on multiplayer, not VAT sim, so we'll see how bad it is. But there doesn't seem to be anyone around my runway. I can see right down there. Oh, glide slope's coming in, so we're going to go back to 180. Glide slope armed. There's 210 knots, flaps 15. Glide slope capture. Capture complete. We're on the descent. Gear down. There's 9 miles. So we have an approach speed of, is that 140? Yeah, 140. So speed coming back to 140. Oh, and there's somebody landing right in front of us. Speed's coming back. We'll go flaps. not going around. Again, it's multiplayer, so it is what it is. Alright. Speed brakes, arms, that's flaps full. Gear down 3 green. Lights on. Landing memo, no blue. Let's go to flaps medium. We'll see if we can stop before he does. There's 6 miles. It's very nice. There's Sydney. There's the bridge, the Opera House, tower. Is that the rail station? Very nice. Sydney area traffic, World Express 104, 4.5 miles, final runway 16 right. It's 1,000 feet. Wind is still fairly strong, 21 knots. It's throwing us around a little bit. It's coming up the coast there. We're 3 miles out, at least from the VOR, which is, I think, is the other end of the airfield. So we're actually about a mile at the moment. I have control.
300.
Sydney traffic is 031 Charlie is currently overhead Erden in Rhode Island 6
100. 60, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Sets down. Nice and firm. Oh, it's Cathay Pacific. Alright, speed brakes are disarmed. And we are off at Gulf. Oh, he's a cargo as well. Busy day for cargo arrivals. Sydney area traffic, World Express 104 clear to 16 right at Gulf. Alright, so flaps up, speed brakes, our ground spoilers up, those lights can come off, you can come off, you can come off. Taxi will stay on.
031 Charlie is fully established at the station.
The brakes. We'll get the APU to fire up. It's wishful thinking. Yeah, sometimes it is. I don't know why he's going in there. He's a cargo. And he left his flaps down. Alright, so we're heading up here to the cargo terminal, which is up in front of that building up at the far end there. So we're just going to keep taxiing up this way on Alpha. And then we're going to go in. What are those gate numbers? Those gate numbers are... Let's go for gate 3. See if it gives it to me properly. Ramp GA large, that will do. Yeah, we'll go Swissport. Yep, I can see everything spawning in up there, so that's all looking good. So for those watching, as I've mentioned, for these longer streams, for the most part, especially the cargo runs, I am going to be splitting these streams. Allows me to get out and do some other stuff. Well, there he goes. Lets me get out and do some other stuff during the stream, so that we are not pegged here for multiple hours, especially some of the longer ones, which are going to run into several, if not multiple hours. Oh, looks like he wants to leave. I guess he had a very quick cargo drop-off. There's 4. We're going up here to 3. And there's Kevin coming in the Antonov. We'll start our turn. Rolling in. We'll roll up a little bit further. There we go. I can see you jumping up and down, waving away there. Alright, so brakes are set. Come up here, check the APU. APU is on, APU bleeds are on. We'll get the chocks and ground power plugged in. Anti-ice not required. It is off. Fuel levers can now come off. There's 1 and 2. Elapsed time 7 hours on the dot from pushback. Not too bad. Make sure all our lights are off. Beacon light is off. Cabin pressure is stabilized. Signs can come off. All the fuel pumps except for inner 2 left. And heats for windows and probes are now all off. Brake fans, how are we doing on our brakes? Brake fans are good. Brake temperatures are good. Brake fans can come off. So we are down. There goes the fighter pilot, 747. And it looks like Kevin is down as well. Very nice. Looks like you got smoke coming off your airplane there, Kevin. Tried to contrail with you. Anyway, that's going to do it for this cargo flight. Thanks for coming in for the landing and arrival landing video live stream. We're back tomorrow. We're carrying on with our hello that boy followed by a bunch of numbers. We're coming back tomorrow, 1930 Zulu, carrying on our world tour, leaving Japan. So we will see you all for that one. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.